welcome to LYS Podcast.
Oh, yeah.
So there's like 16 walls.
Yeah, if you've seen it, keep listening. If you don't want to spoil it, come back to it once you've seen a bit of it.
And you're listening to Catherine and Danni on Gippsland FM 104.7. This is the Latrobe Youth Space radio show, and that was a real bop from the Umbrella Academy soundtrack called They Might Be Giants, Istanbul, Not Constantinople.
Such a classic.
It really is.
We were just talking, the whole soundtrack is just such a mix that it's perfect.
Yeah, it's so eclectic, and it just works together.
It does.
And I just saw that the next song is by Gerard Way, and I'm so excited. It's going to be awesome. I love Gerard Way.
Did you know he created Umbrella Academy?
Really?
Yeah. Gerard Way, he had a background in DC Comics, I believe.
Oh my
I can't remember if it was drawing or writing. But, yeah, so Gerard Way from My Chemical Romance, when they were touring, he started coming up with ideas, made it into an awesome comic book. Then there was a second volume, because they're like series.
Yeah.
And the third one got released in 2018, I think. And then 2019, the show came out.
Oh my God, I didn't know that I could love him any more than I already do. I am obsessed.
He's
this
pretty
is
cool.
incredible.
He's a cool dude.
Right? Oh, that is awesome. I remember seeing Gerard Way tour as, I think that he was headlining for, who was he headlining for? I think, it's headlining for Smashing Pumpkins. And I went and saw him at Festival Hall.
Yeah.
And he was doing all of his...
Just what comes up to mind is a random person just comes on stage, places
Smashing
a pumpkin,
Pumpkins.
smashes it, turns to the audience and goes, "Thank you," and just walks off.
Encore!
Encore, yes.
Come back.
Marvellous.
Smash another pumpkin, please.
It's art. Sorry, keep going.
Love it. Yeah, and headlined for them at Festival Hall, and his stuff was amazing. I've not heard his solo stuff before that, and I was like, yes, this is awesome. Honestly, it has been such a treat in the past few months hearing that MCR getting back together makes my heart sparkle. They are.
I was actually surprised by Gerard Way, because I'd only seen music videos and with My Chemical Romance, so I'm like, oh yeah, he's punk rock, cool. And then seeing interviews that he's done since, I'm like, you're actually a super mellow dude, like
super mellow. Real
it's so
chill.
different.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, totally. And Gerard Way has also done a lot, particularly for the LGBTIQ plus community.
Yeah, definitely.
Always championing rights and always talking about those identities. And yeah, it was very cool dude.
It's bouncing off that, it makes it so perfect because in Umbrella Academy, Klaus is pansexual.
Yeah.
Which you wouldn't think.
Yeah.
So
and you get this vibe of gender fluidity as well. I'm not sure if it's actually identifies as gender fluid, but there's a lot of fluidity in gender expression in Klaus's character, which is always really cool.
And
to
it's
see.
not it's not huge deal.
No, it's not.
Which is pretty nice.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not a tragedy where everyone's they think Klaus is strange, but more because he is really
just
strange.
what he does in
not
his
because
time.
of his clothing or whatever.
No, it's just what he does.
Yeah, he's just
robbing a
oddball.
candy store for no reason.
Yeah, literally.
Okay, sure.
Classic move. Oh dear, that is so great. But yeah, no, it's a very cool soundtrack. So yeah, make sure that if you want to check out the soundtrack, I believe it's up on YouTube. You can view at any time.
I've actually got the funny story. I collect vinyl records because I don't know, I love them. I like when you're listening to a song, you get that crackling sometimes.
Yeah.
It makes it sound classic. Anyway.
Yeah.
It popped up on my feed, the Umbrella Academy soundtrack on vinyl, and I was like, well, I love these songs. Mm-hmm. Yes. But since they only made a limited amount, it was $200. But I was like, you know what? I'm a fan of the show. I'm going to buy it. It arrived, and what it wasn't the music, it was the orchestral background music of the show. Which I was like, well, there goes $200. But in saying that, I did love the orchestra, so it was worth it. But
yep. Isn't that such a classic move? When I've been looking up soundtracks on Spotify before, I've gone into them and I've been like, yeah, I'm going to listen to the bops. And then it's all just really suspenseful orchestral music for 3 hours. And I'm like, I mean, I like it, but where's my bops?
That's actually a good question. Have you ever bought anything online and when it came, it was like, what is this?
What is this? I honestly don't do a huge amount of online shopping. So I haven't had this experience much, but I have had friends who had this experience. I had a friend who was getting these like beautiful lace gloves that were supposed to be like, you know, full fingered gloves and like all the way up to,
lovely.
and beautiful ornate. They came, they were fingerless. What universe? And they had this like just really cheap elastic band around the fingerless bit, which looks so bad, like elastic that was sewn into it.
Right.
And the lace was just like the worst quality. Like it was almost like fly netty style. It was so bad. I felt really bad for her. I'm like, oh no.
I've ordered this jacket once. It was a really cool jacket, and around the collar and the sleeves, it had like kind of like a faux fur material.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that looks lovely. And it was like really nice fur. It arrived, and it was like sparse hairs. Like there might be a patch here, a patch there, and as I'm taking it out of the package, the hair's just fallen, and I'm like, lovely.
Oh my god.
That's exactly what I ordered.
Wow.
And then the material in the photos, it always looked professional done.
Yeah.
The material itself had like terrible stitching, and it was like a cloth. It wasn't like a, you know, coat.
Yeah.
It was like somebody just went into the kitchen drawer, was like, yep, this cloth will do. I think someone will spend good money on that.
Oh no.
And yeah.
Oh, that is so. It breaks my heart a little. It really does.
I kind of like these stories. They're kind of funny.
They're sort of hilarious in hindsight, but at the time, it's so gut wrenching. You're like,
Like,
no.
Shout out to Sean McLaughlin. Don't know if you're listening, but talking to him the other day. Halloween just happened, and he ordered these awesome cement skulls, life-size skulls that just sit in the garden for decorations. They arrive and they're like tiny. They're like, I don't know what size. Like, I don't know what size that is, but it's tiny.
Tiny.
It was kind of funny though.
That's sort of hilarious. And sort of adorable, but definitely not what they expected at all. Like,
No.
I had the same thing. I used to do a lot of cosplay, and I'd make my own costumes, so I'd be like getting a lot of different craft supplies and stuff. And I was trying to find like something that looked like a tooth that I could put on a necklace for a Princess Mononoke, or Mononoke, I don't know how to say it. Cosplay. I'm not a real cosplayer. Anyway, and yeah, I ended up finding this one online. And it looked really big in the picture. And when it came, it was like that big.
It was like tooth size.
It was tiny. It was like tooth-sized. Lol. We're on radio. I was like this big. And I'm like putting my hand out. Like you guys will be able to see what size I'm referring to. Yeah, it was about the size of an actual
Well, that reminds
human
me.
tooth.
Take a look at this funny picture, audience.
Yeah, literally. Burnt. I'm going to have to go and put some burn aid on that.
You used to cosplay.
Yeah, absolutely. I still would love to. I've got a lot of costumes.
What were your go-to costumes?
So my go-tos were the Princess Mononoke and Prince Ashitaka. Like I would dress up as either. But also I had this one that was like it wasn't any particular cosplay of anything. It was just like almost like a Viking style like leather. What are they called? Tunic or something like that, like battle tunic almost with like fur, and I ended up actually going and getting like a leather gun and figuring out how to make like a like a real authentic looking sort of front corset, like similar to how like Viking warriors would have.
Yeah.
Which was really cool. And it was really fun. It was good fun putting the costumes together, and it was really like I always felt really proud when I made them myself. I was like, whoa, I put all this together. Like
I love it. Every time like a cosplayer pops up on my newsfeed, like, you know, I made this. So much effort and time, and it's amazing. Like, you get some cosplayers and you compare them to, like, I don't know, the movie they're cosplaying, and you're like, that is like movie quality. That is like better than the movie quality.
Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it?
I love it. And then you've got the makeup, you've got the hair.
So fun.
And it takes time. It takes so long.
It really does. But when you're really passionate about it, it's just,
I mean, I remember I went to a supernova convention because my sister and brother-in-law, they were meeting, what's her name? Ginny Weasley from Harry Potter.
Oh, yeah.
And Ollie was meeting King Joffrey from Game of Thrones.
Nice.
And then we were just like, yeah, we'll tag along.
Yeah.
there was this woman and she had an Ursula cosplay. So she had, she had the full-on tentacles,
Yes.
full-on purple, the huge wig. And I'm like, I have to get a picture.
Right?
It was amazing.
That's incredible. Like, yeah, honestly, the level of detail and the level of coolness, a lot of those costumes, I'm just like,
It's
how-
cool.
It blows my mind.
It
like,
is.
It's really cool. Because, like, particularly with my sewing skills, I end up... I really do have to do a lot of up shopping and find things that are quite similar. Because I can do minor modifications, but I can't whip up something from scratch. Like, no way. Or
The
major mods.
comparison, though, like you, you go right in, you get the detail.
Yeah.
That Supernova convention I mentioned, I was like, I have to dress up. Oh, I put on this coat, spike up my hair. Then I arrive.
Yeah.
Oh, are you the Matrix? Oh, sure. Yep,
Sure,
cool.
Whatever.
We'll go with that. Really,
I
I
love that.
I have no talent, so I can't.
No, it's totally okay. Like, why not make an original character? That's what I did with that Viking corset. I was I used to do larping, which is live action roleplay.
Yes.
Really fun with like foam, very safe. They all have to be LARP safe.
Yeah.
Foam weapons. They've usually got some wood right in the middle, but then they're covered in foam so that if you hit, it will hurt a little bit. You might be bruised, but you're not going to be substantially
You might
hurt.
be, impaled, but it's okay.
It's okay. It's just foam.
But no, LARPing's amazing.
No, it's really good.
I love it.
And that's where I did that tunic for, because I was part of this like mountain hill warrior tribe when I first started out. And yeah, it sort of tied in with them. It's a lot of fun. It's
A
really,
mate of
really
mine,
good.
he does those, and he used to go down to Melbourne every weekend to participate.
Yeah.
And he would post the pictures, and I'm just
It's so
amazed.
cool.
It's
and the
awesome.
costumes are incredible. Like, if you want to see people
And authentic.
and so authentic. Like, people spend so much money and so much time to really be a part of that and to like feel a part of it. Like, there's a lot of lore that happens, like a lot of backstories of all the different tribes that actually fight in these things. So they'll form their clan, usually with friends, like 5 or 6 friends. They'll make up a race, a class. Like, are they an elf? Are they, are they sorcerers? Are they all like
It's all
a whole bunch of
strategically
different people?
thought of.
Yeah, it's all very
amazing.
strategic. They'll have a whole backstory. Like, a lot of the time, they'll have what are called like, I'm not sure if they're called campaigns, but that's what comes to mind. I can't remember now. But they'll have basically campaigns, so like stories where, and a lot of the time the people facilitating the game will take into account all the clans. So they'll be like, this warrior, hill tribe has come down to seek revenge on the orcs because they stole their homeland, and the fairies have sided with the warrior hill tribe, and they're on
So you
this
got
side.
context.
So you've got context, and
That's
you can come up
awesome.
with whole stories, histories, and laws around these games with real life people, just based on what real life people want and what's fun to them.
I love that.
Right, it's super cool. And you're listening to Catherine and Danni on Gippsland FM 104.7. This is the Latrobe Youth Space radio show, and that was Picture Book by The Kinks off the Umbrella Academy soundtrack. Very excited to hear that they've announced a season 3 as of today. What
Yeah,
good
perfect.
timing. And that was such a coincidence because Danni chose this before the announcement.
Yeah, I chose
And then it just happened.
last night. I was like, this'll do.
Yeah, literally.
And we were just talking about really good representation.
Yes, we were. We were talking about, so I saw a TikTok that was talking about an experience of a trans man. They were worried that their parents were going to be weird about them wanting to express more femininely because, they've transitioned to being a man. And they were worried that their family was going to go like, oh, but, why are you wearing skirts? If you've transitioned to being a man, why would you be wanting to express feminine, like wear skirts and things like that still? And anyway, they were out shopping and they decided that they were going to buy a skirt. And the family was like, oh, you're wearing skirts now. And of course, he's bracing himself for this whole conversation of like, yes, I'm wearing skirts now. Or yes, I do like to wear skirts sometimes. I'm still a man. And anyway, his mum turned around and was like, oh yeah, I saw that on Schitt's Creek, the TV show, where David...
Dan Levy.
Yeah, Dan Levy, who plays David in the show,
Just wear skirts.
wears skirts and, is a dude, obviously, and identifies as he, him, but wears skirts. And it's just like showing how that representation
It's working.
is working. Like, it helps people get their heads around different expressions and different ways of existing in the world.
I just think why does clothing need to be gendered?
It's very strange.
As long as it covers what it needs to cover,
Yeah.
you're fine.
You know what? I know that fun fact isn't now, but I'm gonna go into some fun facts.
You do it.
Fun fact. So, skirts, dresses were originally worn by both male and female children. They were put on male and female children because they're just so much easier to get on and off, and kids are wiggly as heck. Like, if you've ever known a child, they are hard to pin down. Like, to you know, not that I would pin a child down, but like, they're hard to get to stay still long enough to put clothes on them. So putting dresses on babies and kids was just so much easier, and it was also less restrictive. They were able to move a bit more easily.
Well, you look at togas and kilts.
Yes.
They're mostly worn by men.
Yeah, and mostly in, like, for nobility,
Yeah.
with togas, and with kilts, they were more in, like, a battle context with men. So they were extremely, like, masculine considered things, and status, you know, considered articles of clothing. And high heels were actually originally made by, so the initial design, I believe, was by the Spanish, who used to wear them in order to be able to make sure that their feet didn't slide out of the stirrups when they were riding horses.
Really?
Yes. And of course, men, I believe, were the only ones that were generally riding horses, particularly in battle context and travel and things like that, and courier. And so, so they would wear them to ensure that their feet didn't slip out of stirrups. They then became popular in the French courts and aristocracy, and were actually at one point in history, for quite a long period of time, women were banned from wearing high heels. Only men could wear high heels.
Really?
So it began as the domain of men, both high heels and dresses and skirts.
And now you've also got Cuban heels.
Yeah.
You got wedges from back in the 70s disco.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's just funny seeing the evolution, and I don't know. I still think putting labels on clothing like masculine and feminine, it just does a lot of harm. I was lucky. I was in a household where it's like, wear whatever the hell you want. We don't care.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I was super lucky for that too.
Yeah.
Mum did try to dress me up, but I don't think, like, she didn't know at that point, like, who I was. But yeah, she was very much like, whenever she was pointing out clothes, she's like, this pink frilly thing. And I'm like,
I think I remember once when back in year 12, I used to wear just a little bit of eyeliner to school.
Yeah.
Just because, I don't know, I looked edgy or something. I can't remember.
Same.
But I remember I was putting it on the mirror the first time, and I think my mum walked in. She's like, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, I'm in trouble. And she's like, you're using the wrong one. And she pulled out a pen. Because I think I was just using a texter. She's like, here, use a pencil. And I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, no. Oh, my God. Using a texter on your eyes? Oh, you can blind yourself.
Luckily, she was like...
Thank God.
Luckily, she was like, use a proper pencil.
That would have been so scary, though. Like, what are you doing?
But really, it was just like...
Wrong one.
Just don't be an idiot. Use the proper stuff.
Here's how you do it properly. Let me show you. That's such a lovely, wholesome and funny story. I love that. That's incredible. Yeah. G'day, you're listening to Catherine and Danni on Gippsland FM 104.7. This is the Latrobe Youth Space radio show, and I'm going to give you the weather update. So, today, maximum of 31 degrees. It was really warm today, and it's right, and so humid. It's definitely been a humid spring, and we are going to have a humid summer as well, which, I mean, is better than dry and bushfirey. 100%. So it was mostly sunny this morning. There's a high chance of showers this evening, so brace yourselves, and a chance of a thunderstorm as well. Thunderstorm. Tomorrow, Thursday, 12th of November. Gotta get through this weather report. I gotta do it. A max of 26 degrees, minimum of 17, 80% chance of rain, most likely in the early morning. Chance of a thunderstorm in the morning as well. Friday is a maximum of 19, minimum of 13 with a possible shower. And Saturday is a maximum of 19, a minimum of 11, with a 20% chance of rain. And yes, it's just talking about wind. I was like, is that to do with the rain or? No, it's cool. Sunday, maximum of 29 degrees. So wow, it's going from 19 to 29 degrees in one day. That's quite a difference, right? With a minimum of 9. That's wild. That's a huge temperature difference. Chance of rain is 40%. And yeah, that is the rest of the week. Now. Down. Oh, yeah, the weather thing.
Yeah,
down.
That's my attempt at a weather tune.
Wow, I love it. You should do like professional voice acting for weather intros. What an obscure job.
Right?
That's crazy.
Very niche market.
Oh my god, I did not have your microphone on. I am really
So
sorry.
it just sounded like you were talking to
It was
yourself.
just I was talking to myself. Lol. Oh
Which,
my
look,
God.
let's be honest.
Yeah.
You do it.
I mean, I do it all the
it.
time.
We all
Everyone
talk to
does it.
ourselves.
Everyone does it. Some more than others. My cat told me to shut up last night. I don't blame him.
In my mind, it's more just like, I'll just be in my mind having full-on conversations.
Yes.
Do you ever do that thing?
I do the same thing.
That thing where, like, you're interviewing yourself or you're replaying a memory and you're like, I should have said this.
I should have said this. Or you're thinking about a future drama. You're like, if I run
Like you're
into this
planning a
person-
drama.
You're planning a drama. You're like, if I run into this person, you just do it like Days of Our Lives style. You're just like, Romano, you left me
Romano.
for another woman. How can I ever trust you again? It's just
Here's
so
the thing
dramatic.
about soap operas.
They're so
Like
good.
Neighbours. Who would live there? There are 10 car crashes, 19 house fires, there's
Right?
at least 11 murders
I
a
feel
year.
like, if nothing else, the home and contents insurance would just be off the charts.
Who would
It'd be
live
off
there?
The charts.
Right?
Right? Not a great place to invest.
No, but the
Yeah.
funny thing is, the actual street that they film on, people do live there. I don't know if I could. Because you get
Nah.
all these looky-loos going, I see you.
Oh my god, every day, every night. Would it be, do you think, it'd be interesting if it's more expensive to live there because of all the acclaim, or actually cheaper to live there because you just constantly got randoms at your doorstep? Like,
I don't know, because I know that they get paid for the house. So they, for the time, like Modern Family.
yeah.
Like, every time they have to shoot, they will get paid,
yeah, like a
leave the
rental.
house, here's some
Yeah.
motel bills. So you get paid for owning a house.
That would be really sick. That would be awesome. All right, so Ramsey Street, please come to Morwell.
So we can make some
Catherine.
cashola.
And that was We're Through by the Hollies. Absolute classic from the Umbrella Academy soundtrack, which is what we're playing today. It's got so many boppers on it. And if you
Yeah.
haven't seen the Umbrella Academy,
Do it!
that was awesome.
That was probably really loud. I'm sorry.
I saw the we've got this like little it's almost like an odometer in a car that shows you how loud the things are, and it just went right up to the red, and I was like, whoa.
Oh, Jesus, I'm
It was
sorry.
no, it was great. I mean, like waiting
Plus,
at our
in all
list-
seriousness, in
yeah,
all seriousness, watch it.
do it.
It took me, because my mum watched it, and she binged it.
Yeah,
And she tried to get me to binge it, and I was like, look, I don't like superheroes. I'm not into superheroes. And then finally, I was like, fine.
Fine.
At the beginning of
Fine,
Rona.
Mum.
At the-
Leave me alone.
Fine.
Go to my room. Watching it.
Fine. So at the beginning of Rona, I watched the first episode, but I didn't sit down. I was
Yeah.
up and cleaning, and
Doing all the
halfway through it, I was like, this is stupid. Because I wasn't paying attention.
I had the same problem.
And
Yeah.
saying that now hurts me.
It hurts me too. I had the exact same thing.
Because finally I sat down and binged it, and I was like, past Danny, what were you thinking?
Who were
This is
you?
amazing.
Who are you? I don't know you anymore.
Because it's not superheroes. It's damaged people
Yeah.
who have super abilities
Yes.
but don't want them.
Yeah. There's a
It's
lot of
great.
there's a lot of anti-heroes. There's some characters that are more pure and more hero prototype, but some of them actually don't live as a hero. Like even though they have very good values and their morals are very moral compass is very good.
They just don't want to use their powers.
They don't want to use their powers. They want to have a more normal life while they're struggling with their own drama.
Like, and we're not spoiling anything, but one
No.
of Allison has the power to, she says, I heard a rumor, and whatever she says after that, the person does. So
Yeah, it's
I
revealed in like the first episode, so
yeah,
no
no
spoilers.
spoilers.
Yeah.
It's in the
like
comic book. It's
yeah,
not
it's in the
spoilers.
comic book as well.
So, she'd be like, I heard a rumor, you hit yourself on the head, and the person would hit it.
Yeah, they just
But
become
the
mind controlled by that.
Angle of her not wanting to use her powers is so understandable.
Yeah.
Because she's used it in the past to like, I heard a rumor you loved me. I heard a rumor I got a job. So she doesn't know what's real and what's not.
Yeah, she doesn't know what like she's actually
Achieved.
or not, which can be really, really hard to deal with. Like,
And it's very grounded, the show.
it is very grounded. Yeah, it's dark and it's grounded. Like there's definitely moments where I'm like, oh, what is happening right now? But most
There's a couple of dance scenes actually.
right? Yeah,
They're pretty great.
Yeah, no, it's very well written. It's a lot of really good
Oh, it's
humor.
brilliant.
Really good character development and like relationship development. It's very binge worthy.
And the songs, which we are listening to some of them today,
Yeah.
it's like it's an entire different character.
It really is.
It's great.
It's incredible.
Like what's one? I'm pretty sure we have one coming up called Sunny.
Yeah.
That song is always in my head now. Like if you want to know what I'm thinking 90% of the time, it's that song.
Right? Such an
Because
earworm.
it's just this. It is, and then in the show, it's just this montage of this certain character, living through life and then regretting a certain decision that they made.
Yeah.
And it just goes with the song so perfect because it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to spoil it, but
Yeah,
it's so good.
hard. It's so good though. Oh my goodness.
But Catherine has been published, everybody.
Yes.
Do you want to talk a little bit about that? Because I'm proud.
Oh, thank
After
you.
only just finding about it about a second ago.
Yeah, thanks to
Thanks,
you know,
Facebook.
thanks to me adding you when I blocked you.
Yes, thanks for blocking me.
I have a strike system. You no, you didn't really.
3 strikes, get out.
Get out. Anyhow, yes, I did get published. It was very exciting. I have recently graduated with my professional and creative writing degree from uni, and this was my first time I've been published publicly. So I've done a lot of assignments and things like that. I've even done some like paid work for other people, but this is the first time I've been published with my own work, and it was through an opportunity with the Latrobe Regional Gallery. They wanted to bring the International Rose Garden Festival, which they usually do at the Rose Garden in Morwell, to an online or a more social distanced way of actually celebrating it this year. So what they've done is they've integrated with an app which has a bunch of different, you can actually log locations with a particular text, audio, visuals, and things like that. So they got everyone to submit poems based on all the roses in the garden. Now you can download this app, and as you walk through the garden, it will come up with the type of rose at the type of rose's garden bed.
That's
as
brilliant.
you walk along. It's fantastic, isn't it?
That's
yeah.
great.
So I ended up doing a poem on Ingrid Bergman, the rose, as well as the actress.
Oh, you talked about this.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very gritty. It's very dark. I had a lot of fun writing it. And there's some really incredible poems. There's, I think, about 24 submissions, which is pretty cool. So definitely head down. Even if you can't go and visit the garden, or if you're not a fan of the, walking and reading, you just sort of want to go around the garden separately, you can just go online, or you can go and download the app. Check out Latrobe Regional Gallery's website or Facebook page. All the details will be on there of how to access it. So that was, really
You're
proud moment.
published.
I know.
That's so great.
So exciting. Yay.
Everybody, I know an accomplished author.
I wouldn't go that far, but
And I just love how you said, it's dark, it's gritty, I had fun.
Yeah.
I love the way you said that, because, I don't know, there's something about writing dark stuff.
so much
It's
fun.
very, what's it called?
Cathartic.
Cathartic.
Yeah,
it
is,
is.
isn't it? Yeah, 100%.
Because I
love it.
was tampering, I wrote a little poem about Rona. I called it the Schniffles. The Schniffles.
Ooh.
It was just pretty much me mocking Rona. But it was cathartic because, I've been so mad at lockdown and then just
Yeah.
mocking it I feel better.
Yeah, literally.
And I'm very excited to read or hear this poem, however the app works. I'm so happy for you. That's
Thank
amazing.
you. It's very exciting. So yeah, no, that was good. That was really cool. And yeah, it was nice to put it up, and my family were like, "Congratulations!" I'm like, "Oh, thank you." It was great. Very
Thanks,
sweet.
Mom.
Thanks, Mom. I'd like to to thank my mum. I couldn't have done this without her. And just keep going.
She's just standing on the side. Hi.
Hi. Oh,
And
gosh.
I've just noticed
Yeah?
today in the space, we were in the space today just cleaning and,
Yeah.
packing.
Yeah.
And our DJ Tay just came out of nowhere with all these little Spider-Man "You Are a Winner" necklaces.
Yeah.
And Catherine's still wearing it.
I am. I'm a winner. No one
Damn
can tell me
right.
otherwise.
Try and take it, I dare ya.
Yeah, literally. You won't get me out of the White House. You have to remove me with force.
Oh, that's legit gonna happen.
Oh my god.
I guarantee
Oof,
he will.
I really
He
hope
already
not.
is. He's already refusing.
I mean, he's already refusing, so I mean, it's not entirely unreasonable to think that will happen. Oof.
I would love to see, not that they wouldn't film it, but the security that he's probably abused over the year,
Most likely.
having to take him out. That would be awesome.
Absolutely. It's like when you get, like, you're working in retail and you get a really abusive customer and you just, like,
You get to tell
you
them.
finally get to tell them, you will not be served here. Like, your manager backs you up and you're just like, yes, thank God. Stop
Yeah.
abusing, staff. It's not on.
I kind of I have this one story, speaking of like abusive customers. I used to work at McDonald's in Traralgon.
Oof.
Oh,
we
thank
go.
you. Exactly. It's a big oof.
Yeah.
Especially at 6 o'clock in the morning shifts. They were my shifts
Yeah.
every weekend. We had this one person who, he came in, he ordered a burger, he ate half of it, and he just wanted a free one.
Yeah.
So I came back and it's like, excuse me, this isn't right. And I'm like, well, did it take you the whole burger to figure that out? What's wrong with it? And he was like, if you look on the lettuce, that's mold. But I'm looking, and look, it wasn't mold.
No.
It was just a dark patch of lettuce.
Yeah.
So I got kind of snappy because, again, it's 6 in the damn morning.
Literally.
And I was like, oh, it couldn't have been moldy. We only thawed it out 3 weeks ago. Oh, no, what did I say? It can't be moldy. We only unfroze it 3 seconds. I said something that made him...
3 weeks ago, I was like, what?
I said something that made it sound like it was past its due by
Oh,
date.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, yeah.
Which
yeah.
made him think, oh, this actually is wrong, and it made him feel very sick. And I was like, I'll go get my manager. And then I can't remember I got in trouble, but I was like, look, 6 in the morning, I don't want to be here.
Oh, dear. Yeah. Like, it can be so tough when you're just constantly getting...
Abused.
Yeah, abused and all this, like, negative treatment, and people just, like, shoot the messenger all the time, and you gotta have your fun sometimes.
And then as somebody who, gets served in customer service now, it's like every customer you think is going to have an issue. Because I've been in that mindset.
Yeah.
So, like, there was this really nasty person at Big W, ahead of me in line, and then she left, and I was next. And she's like, I'm so sorry, I got to answer this call. And she was so scared to go do her job. And I was like,
Yeah.
it's all good. I'm just
Yeah.
standing here. It's all good.
Yeah.
And it was just heartbreaking to see this
Right.
person shaken. And if you know me, I'm not a threat.
No, God, no.
I don't care. So,
Yeah.
And seeing this person like shaking, it was heartbreaking.
It is, isn't it? And, like, whenever I go into a place and somebody's just so apologetic, they're like, sorry. I'm like,
Over nothing.
I know. And you're like, are you okay? Like, has somebody...
Do you want a hug?
Yeah, literally. It's just like, clearly you are already on the defensive, like you're going to get attacked.
Like something's happened.
Like something's happened. Like maybe you're just so used to people having problems or causing you stress or, abusing you that you're just like already on the defensive, just like, even though I'm smiling and I'm, I'm not, I'm trying to act nice and everything. It's just like, you just really feel for those workers.
You do.
Yeah.
So if there's any takeaway from today's little episode or whatever we call it, just be nice because these people
nice.
are doing a service for you.
Absolutely.
I just think if you're nasty, they could spit in your sandwich, which they probably wouldn't because there's protocols. But just think I don't get how you could be mean to somebody who's giving you food.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, it seems a bit risky.
Like literally another example from my McDonald's days. There was this nasty woman.
Yeah.
So the lads in the back, she said, I demanded more sauce. I wanted more sauce. And there was like a huge pool of sauce already. But
Wow.
anyway, they just grabbed the hosting and just attacked the thing. So when she opened it, it was just literally like little bits of burger flooding in this pool of sauce.
Oh my
And she was
God.
furious. But the manager was like, you asked for more sauce. They gave it to you. What do you want? The manager had their back. It was great. And I'm in the corner laughing like, hee hee
Oh my
hee.
God. That's next level. That's That is wonderful. You know when there's always that like classic Australian joke of like, do you want chips with that sauce when you like overdo it? Do you want burger with that sauce?
You want fries with that salt?
Exactly. That really takes it to the next level. That's brilliant. And you're listening to Catherine and Danni, and this is the La Trobe Youth Space radio show. That was Sunny by Boney.
Sunny.
Sunny.
Dun, 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 dun.
Could you imagine if Facebook, because we're actually live streaming on Facebook.
Facebook took us down for singing it.
Singing it, they're like, that breached copyright. It's like,
I'm pretty sure Facebook
our
hates
voices
me.
are that good. No.
I'm pretty sure with that we sound just like
We
the
sound
song.
exactly like the
But
song.
I'm pretty sure Facebook hates me because I'm
Yeah?
not allowed to do lives anymore.
Are you kidding?
All I did was a little bit of theft and filmed it. No, not really, not
just
really.
joking.
What I did was in Rona we would do a lot of live videos. So I would
Yes.
sketch a live video and talk.
Yeah.
That's all I used it for, and apparently that's not allowed.
Are you kidding?
So yeah, I'm not allowed to do lives anymore.
That's insane.
Because I've shown you, I was like, these are all correct, and you were
Yeah.
like, yeah, that's the right options.
That's
and
the right
It just
options.
won't let me.
That's nuts.
Right?
Oh my god. Facebook. Technology. Technology.
Isn't it
tells ya.
great?
Oh.
Actually, no, it's not. It's actually
really
not.
It's not great.
I've noticed, like in Rona, now that we're not constantly
Yeah.
surrounded by screens at work, computer screen, television screens, phones. I've dialed it right back, and it's been like yesterday.
Yeah.
We went out for a work lunch. Then afterwards, a couple of us were like, it's a nice day. Let's go
Yeah.
sit in the park. So we sat under a tree for like a couple of hours. It was just wonderful.
It was lovely.
It was a really good day. And
Yeah.
you made a mountain out of grass.
I did.
Catherine's there just nervous. I don't know if it was nerves
I
or
don't know.
you were just picking
It's
grass.
just a compulsion thing.
And by the end of it, you had like a hay bale just
I
sitting there.
did. Oh my god. It probably looks really twitchy, like and nervous, like when I do things like that. But it's just like a constant thing I've had since I was a kid. I just always need to be doing something with my hands, like.
I reckon, like in that next scenario, I have the Simpsons house Lego, the actual set, and when I moved because I'm at a different location to where I got it, I undid it all, and ever since then, I just want it. I don't want to do it, but I want it made again,
Yeah.
just to sit in storage and look pretty.
Just look pretty.
So I reckon next time I'll just give you that, give you
Oh my
something
god.
to do.
Yeah. I think I would get so distracted with that though. It needs to be something like real simple and repetitive, or I'll just be like, I've got to focus on this. And people who talk to me, they'll be like, yeah, so what do you think? And I'll be like, yeah, sure. I was like, that wasn't a yes, no question. Oh, okay. So classic.
I've done that before, actually.
Yeah?
Said yeah, sure, or yeah, that sounds cool to the wrongest
The
thing
wrongest
ever.
thing. Oh.
Somebody, it was high school where, look, year 12, everybody's having a breakdown.
Yeah,
Because it's year
literally.
12, it's hard.
It's hard.
Especially this year.
Oh my
That
god.
would have been difficult
I
as heck.
definitely feel for them.
So I'm trying to nervously finish this essay, I believe, that was due in 1 minute, and I hadn't finished it. And my friend was really scared about getting a result back. And they were pouring their heart out.
Oh.
And they're like, I should just quit school. I'm not worth it. And I was like, yeah, sure.
Oh no.
And luckily the friend next to me like hit me on the shoulder. I was like, what? Sorry, what? And luckily they knew that I was stressed.
Oh, thank
And then we
goodness.
kind of just ended up in kind of like a huddle. Like,
Oh.
we're all stressed. Let's all,
Let's have
crack
a hug.
together,
Yeah. Oh my god.
If I'm going down, you're coming with me.
You're going-
That's friendship.
Absolutely. Sinking ship. Get on it. Alrighty.
Literally.
Oh dear. This is a La Trobe Youth Space radio show, and that was a cover of Bad Guy,
By Billie Eilish, but this version was
version?
from...
The Interrupters.
Yes.
Yes.
I like, if I'm being honest, I like that version better.
It's very
Just
cool.
the trumpet section.
Right? It's a ska cover of Bad
Yeah.
Guy, and I love ska. Like, gotta be said. It's very groovy.
And it's a good tune.
It
'Cause-
really is.
And it's great because it's one of those songs that can be... there's been like 1920s covers. There's been rock... it's a very
Jazz
kind of
and-
cover-heavy song.
It
You
is
could do anything with it.
Oh, literally.
And
No,
I love it.
it's really, really cool. Like, I've seen candy pop versions. I've seen, jazz versions. It's
I
super
wonder if
cool.
artists, though, if they listen to covers and go, oh, I'm insulted, or if they're flattered. Because if it was me, I'd be so flattered.
Yeah, same. Literally. No, absolutely.
Like I got a small taste of it because for Youth Space, I've been doing these how to draw cartoon characters. So I draw like Fred Flintstone and the Jetsons.
Yeah.
And then shout out to Rowan S. He posts his versions of the characters. So I'm like, somebody's watched my videos. I'm so flattered.
cute.
And it's such a good... So I wonder if artists like Billie Eilish feel the same, or if they're just like, ugh, what was that?
I think it really depends on their ego and like
Yeah.
why they connect to fans. Because I feel like some artists are just so like they take things very seriously. They take their
Yeah.
aesthetic. They take, you know, whatever level they're at very seriously. And sometimes they also just see that like they view themselves as so much above their fans. Whereas those
Yeah.
artists that are more like on their fans'
Down to
level and like,
earth.
hey, you're all people, you're all important people in society and I really appreciate you. I think most artists tend to really appreciate their fans, but
Yeah.
some don't, unfortunately. And I feel like that's when you get those real judgmental types that are like, ugh,
I
I
like-
feel insulted by your homage. Get
I
out.
like celebrities that are fans of other celebrities. So
That's so cool.
you've got what comes to mind? Sarah Paulson from American Horror Story,
Yeah.
who I love. She's an amazing actress.
Incredible.
There's a photo of her, it's like her face is screaming because someone's taking a picture of Madonna on the red carpet. In the background, it zooms in on Sarah Paulson, who just spotted Madonna like
Fanning
fanning out, and it's just
I
like
love
it's
it.
just you can relate to that.
It's
It's
absolutely.
lovely because it's like you're human. I
Exactly.
can relate to that.
Everyone has their heroes. Like Billie Eilish did an interview where they talk about how they were like really obsessed with Tyler, the creator, like really obsessed, and like got to meet them in person and was just like completely fangirling, like so cool. But yeah, like, and I think that's the thing to keep in mind is like you might not think that you are somebody who's like really admired or whatever. Like often we don't sort of realize that we do have admirers and we have people who really think a lot of us, like even in everyday life.
Here's a question: have you met a celebrity, and what was your like reaction?
Oh, I haven't really met many celebrities. I've met like more small scale celebrities. Like I met the members of Tripod after their show.
Oh wow!
And I've met Katie Noonan, who's not like a huge celebrity or anything. I've met a lot of like Aussie, more indie or alternative
Yeah.
chill celebrities. But I get very anxious meeting new people in general. So when it comes to celebrities, I'm usually super anxious. I just don't know, like I'm just like it just feels awkward and contractual. Like when they come out to like great fans and stuff, I'm just like I don't know what to say. I don't really want to. I'm happy just being a fan. Like, okay, bye. Like,
I don't want to meet you.
I don't
'Cause
want to meet you.
It can be sometimes you do meet your role model or celebrity,
Yeah.
and it can be like
Yeah.
they're not who you think you're. Like
Yeah.
they don't care.
Yeah.
Like
That's
you know
true.
they're just here for the gig,
Yeah.
and it can be quite heartbreaking.
100%. Yeah.
My experience, however, was not heartbreaking. I met me and a mate. We are fans
Ooh.
of Mrs. Brown's Boys, the series.
Yes. Yep.
For youth listening, don't you dare watch it. It is inappropriate.
Inappropriate.
Wait till you're 15.
Prime Possum says go to bed.
Prime Possum, so go to bed. So they did a Melbourne show live, and me and a mate went to see it live. And we were lucky. We didn't realise that after every show, they loved to meet the fans.
Oh, that's cool.
So we lined up, and we met all of them, got a photo, got an autograph. And then I met Mrs. Brown, or Brendan O'Carroll.
Nice.
And he's so short.
Yeah.
He's so short. And he commented as soon as I went to take a photo, I was like, oh, Jesus, you're towering over me.
Caring.
And it's just so not like they're genuine.
Yeah.
Like
that's
they
awesome.
care. And
Yeah.
I remember just kind of being, I don't know what to do.
Oh, it's so awkward. Like, because they're essentially a stranger. Like, you feel like you know their character, or you might know them, like, particularly if you have done a bit of research or if you follow them and stuff, you might feel like you know them, but they don't actually know you.
Yeah.
And you don't actually know them. Like, even if you think you know them, you don't know them.
And that was like back in the day. I think that was like 2017, 2018.
Yeah.
Where I'm not who I am now. I'm more, cash, down to earth.
Yeah, you're more chill.
But back then I think I blurted out like, oh, I've seen all the episodes. I'm such a huge fan or something. But it was like, so like, you know, and now I look back on it, I'm like, he's probably met thousands of.
Literally. And that's the deal. And that's what I always think when I meet celebrities. I'm like, look, we've been through this 1,000 times. They're not going to remember me. I don't really know what I'm going to say. It's going to be awkward. I enjoyed the live performance. I enjoy their art.
Yeah.
I don't really feel the need to meet them and talk to them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, for those, you know, it is a good story to be able to tell.
Yeah.
And it is an exciting moment.
But some celebrities do remember.
Do you reckon?
Like, oh, here we go again. Umbrella Academy.
Yeah.
I was watching this Facebook video of a fan who had met one of the cast members.
Ooh.
The cast member was like, "Didn't you come here last year?" And because she got them like a little gift, and they're like, "Didn't you get us a gift last year?" And we talked about your mum. How's she doing? And so they remember, and that was
Wow.
kind of really like
That's beautiful.
that's amazing. Like that's someone who cares,
Yeah.
and that just made me love the show even more.
That's incredible. That's actually really lovely and really wholesome to hear that as well.
Yeah,
love
and like
that.
a year apart, and they're asking like, we talked about this. How are they doing?
That's so lovely.
Yeah.
That's so good. I was just thinking earlier today, actually, and it's been on a lot of people's minds probably coming up to this end of the year, but Christmas.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah. Or whatever you celebrate. Like, it doesn't have to be Christmas, just the
the
holiday
festive
season.
season.
Yeah, the festive season, the school holidays, and you know, the time to be potentially with family, with friends.
It's gonna be hard.
It's
this
going to be
year.
tricky. It is. Yeah. I don't know.
And we were talking about Christmas this year.
Yes, going to look quite
Which
different for a lot of people.
yeah.
Yeah, particularly those with family interstate. I'm not sure, like, obviously we've had Melbourne open up again, so if your family is in Melbourne, you know, you've got or friends or chosen family in general, you've got a bit more chance of seeing them, I believe, unless things change again. But interstate, there are still some states where it is quite tricky because you have to do the 14-day quarantining period when you come into the state, which for a lot of people is not very affordable because I'd have to, you know, pay for a motel and potentially, you know, don't have the time to get off work to have 14 days either side of a visit.
Yeah.
So there are some situations that people won't be able to get together. But my thinking was around, like, even with all that, what are some things that we might be able to do, like games that we can play, ways that we can connect virtually, or even some things you can do with your local friends, even if it's not a family-related thing, just getting together, you know, with local friends, obviously within the limits, public places and so on with all the COVID limitations. But, yeah, what are some alternatives?
First idea was Zoom, but as somebody who is absolutely sick of Zoom,
Oh, 100%.
not worth it.
Yeah.
See, I love the Zoom probably got such a boost in publicity,
Yeah.
and now it's just kind of like, we're all done with you, mate.
We're
Off
just
your pop.
done. Yeah.
One little thing that was really nice this year, my uncle, auntie, and cousin moved back to Perth.
Oh, yeah.
So what my mum did as a little Christmas present, she got baubles for the Christmas tree in all our names, like, you know, separate baubles with all our names on it. She sent them ours,
Aw,
and we had theirs. So it was kind of like a little piece of us is still together.
that's really sweet.
And that's a really, something like that would be pretty
Yeah.
beautiful. Like, you know, we're not there in person, but
Yeah, literally.
yeah.
Like, even with, you know, you can have tech issues and internet issues, I would still love, like, even if I can't, for example, my brother's in Queensland, so it's very unlikely that he'll be able to do that 14-day quarantining and all the rest of it that comes with it. I'm not even sure if Queensland and Vic borders are open to one another as of yet. I believe, like, Queensland and South Australia might be, Queensland and New South Wales. But, yeah, that's not 100%. Definitely look it up. And, you know, these things can change day to day, so could be totally different by the time Christmas flies around.
And look, the way restrictions are slowly easing, we could have, you know, a new view on what it's like next week.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. But yeah, like, even with my brother being in Queensland, I definitely want to get together for, like, a Zoom or, you know, a Skype or...
Yeah.
Oh, Skype is terrible. I mean, no, sorry, Skype's great.
We just lost our sponsorship. No.
Lost our sponsorship. It's not your fault. I haven't had very good experiences with Zoom. Skype is what I will say. But whether it's objectively good or bad, up to you. Definitely do your research. But yes, I'd still love to get together. And I was thinking, like, even if because it can be a bit awkward because you're not in person, it doesn't have the same flow. So even if it was playing a game, like, over that, like, for example, doing, like, Pictionary, something classic, charades, or something you can do just over video, you know, getting together and, like, just eating a meal together, even if it's just a short time, I think is such a lovely way to be able to still like
Yeah.
have that company on the day.
Definitely.
But I love the idea of even just like, even if you can't get together, like even if you're having internet problems or you're just sick of video, or you've got people that just don't know how to connect with it as well, that can also be like older relatives potentially might not even just be able to use those
Unfortunately,
things.
it's kind of our only option.
It is sort of our only option with a lot
So
of things.
learn,
at the moment.
people.
learn. It's so good. But even if you do have those things, like I love the idea of having a little piece of them on the day with the baubles and things like that. That sounds really lovely. Loving it.
It's something we were talking about earlier that intrigued me. We just touched on it, then it was like, oh, we're back on air. We can't finish that conversation. Nightmares. What is the strangest nightmare you've had? Or scariest?
I've had some really weird ones. A lot of the weirdest nightmares that I've had, I'll have a baby, but then the baby will be like, it will turn into like a sack of flour, like a Simpsons style, or it'll become like a doll, not an actual living child. But then somehow I'll manage to bring it back to life and turn it back into a child. They're probably the trippiest nightmares that I have.
That's very bizarre.
Really bizarre. But probably the scariest one, at least recently, that I had was around teeth, because like I hate going to the dentist, and I have a dentist appointment. I've got a dentist appointment next Monday, and I think my subconscious knew, because in my sleep I had this nightmare that was basically my teeth were hurting, and like I looked in the mirror and they were just moving in on each other, so they were like getting so crowded that it felt like they were like gonna like pop each other out basically.
God.
It was a really painful dream, and then they started just snapping off in my hand. It was terrifying. Like,
That's actually really scary.
It was a really scary dream. Oh my God. And they're like, oh God, I gotta go to the dentist on Monday.
I'm going to cancel that appointment.
Just might cancel that. Nah, just a nightmare, but oh gosh. How about yourself?
One that always comes to mind, it's more, and it continued on when I woke up. This is the weird thing. So I had a dream where my grandma, who I'm very close to, I love my ma, she's like me, but older and rougher and tougher.
Yes.
You know, she's an old, don't mess with me.
I love it.
I love her so much. She died in my dream, but the dream was I was running to hospital, and just as I made it, she died. And that was the dream of like, and I'm just standing there. The dream was literally me standing there, and she's just dead.
That's terrifying.
For a 13-year-old, it was quite. Yeah. But I woke up. But sometimes when you wake up, I don't know if this affects you, but sometimes when I wake up, I got to give myself a little bit of time to properly wake up, or I think the dream actually happened.
Right? Yeah. Yep.
So I woke up thinking, Grandma's dead. And I sat there for like 5 minutes, and I was like, wait, no, she's not.
Hold on a second.
Well, no, she's not. So it ended happy, but that's the most dream that's affected me the most.
That sounds quite terrifying. And what a weird... I just realised the timing of this. We're just about to finish up the show on this horrible note. Nah.
But on a better note, we did that whole show.
We did.
Without a script. That was just
Hour and a
us
half.
talking.
Just riffing. We have some good chats, and we hope that you enjoyed them too.
Yeah.
As of next Wednesday, we'll be moving to the 6 p.m. till 7 p.m. time slot. So make sure that you listen out for us on a Wednesday evening from 6 till 7 p.m. In the meantime, we are going to play the news, and we will chat to you next week.
See you guys.